When it comes to investments, my husband told me something I'm going to share with you. Now, looking wealthy is not going to make you wealthy. You want a certain lifestyle that you know that you cannot afford. Cut your coat according to your size. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amma if you're new here, and if you're used to being here, well, it's good to have you back. In this video, I want to share with you how you can make some smart money decisions in your 20s that will set you up for your 30s. Okay, now let's be honest. How many of us have ever received any kind of money or financial lessons from our parents? And how many of us have made some really stupid money decisions in the past because of ignorance? Like, we just didn't know. Hello? Okay, you're not alone. So if you grew up in a typical Ghanaian home like I did, money seems to be a taboo topic. Like, our parents just didn't want to talk about money. But if we are being really honest with ourselves, our parents told us not to waste money, told us to save, but didn't really tell us how to go about it. And because of that, we made some really bad financial decisions, like overspending and not even knowing how to budget. And now that we are older, we are supposed to pay rent, fees, internet, food, groceries, you name it, relationships. All of that costs money, and that's money that we are now trying to make in our 20s. Sadly, this is not even taught in schools, which is just crazy on its own. So I'm going to share with you a few money mistakes that we probably all made in our 20s. And if you haven't made them, well, good for you. Make sure you keep it that way. But these are money mistakes that we should at all costs avoid in our 20s, and a few tips that will help set us up for our 30s. So number one is to use money for its purpose. I'm talking about when you have specifically allocated money for a certain use. Don't take that money and squander on shoes, clothes, and bags. Ladies, we know ourselves. So the best thing you can do is to make a monthly budget, and you can do this the traditional way with a pen and paper. You take notes of your needs and your essentials and write them down, and allocate a figure to each specific need within your monthly budget. This can be done also on your phone so that you can keep track of your daily and monthly expenses. The second thing is to avoid borrowing money. Yes, I know that emergencies happen, and sometimes within a month you just run out of cash unexpectedly. But if it's not life or death, try as much as you can to avoid borrowing money. The more money you borrow from people, anytime you get your income, you spend a huge percentage trying to settle the people you owe. And then you end up being in a cycle of never having enough money because you're always settling people that you owe. So as much as possible, avoid borrowing money from people. Number three is to stop buying things on credit. Now, this is very similar to borrowing money from people, because if you buy things on credit, guess what? The moment you get money, you have to go back and pay the very people you owe. And then buying on credit can also be, if we are being honest, it can be embarrassing, because if you buy a brand new pair of shoes from a boutique that you haven't paid for, and then you wear those same shoes to a wedding, and then you go and meet shop owner at the wedding. Oh my God! Wow! You are slaying in shoes that you haven't paid for. It's not nice. It's not nice. If it's something you really want, make sure you have enough time to save for it and just pay in cash. Done. The next money mistake is to avoid spending above your means. You want a certain lifestyle. You know very well that you cannot afford it. Sister, cut your coat according to your size.
Cut your coat according to your size.
There will come a time when you can afford everything you want and all the luxuries of this life. That time will come when you make smart money moves early on in life. You can live very comfortably now in your 20s. Think of it as making a sacrifice for a better life in the future. So don't spend above your means. Moving right along, the next mistakes we make in our 20s is not thinking long term. Now, if you work a 9 to 5, most likely you're earning a monthly income. And it's very easy to forget that you're not going to be working at this company for the rest of your life. At some point, you're going to have to retire. Even if the company is for you, you're not going to have as much energy in your 60s as you have now. So while you're working hard, make sure you're saving for a rainy day. Make sure you're thinking long term, you're saving for retirement, and most importantly, you're saving for your kids. And so that brings me to the next point, which is to save and invest the little you have. I'm sure you've heard little drops of water make a mighty ocean. When it comes to savings, don't wait until you have $1 million before you start saving. For people who say they are waiting to have a lot before they save, trust me. So the point with saving is to develop the discipline and consistency. So if you're able to save the little you have now, you are assured that once you have so much, you're still going to be in the habit of saving. And when it comes to investments, my husband told me something I'm going to share with you. If it's too good to be true, it most likely is. And I'm talking about firms that promise to double your money. So you take 1,000 cedis and then they promise to give you 2,000 cedis. The question you should ask them or ask yourself is, if you're giving me 2,000 cedis, what are you gaining from that money? Do you get it? Like, what is in it for you? And sometimes just asking yourself questions will help you understand if that organization or company has any ulterior motive with your money. The day you take 1,000 cedis, will give you 2,000, so you get comfortable into believing that once you get comfortable, you take bigger amounts of money, and that's when you actually lose everything. So if it sounds too good to be true, just avoid it altogether. If you're looking for any kind of investments, the best thing for you to do is to talk to someone, talk to a professional. Walk into the bank, ask them what kind of investment opportunities they have. Understand what your risk appetite is. If you're someone who can't handle a lot of risk, then you probably go for a very easy investment option like a treasury bill. At the end of the day, it's your money and you have every right to ask questions. Don't just walk into a bank and invest without understanding the pros and cons of that particular investment. You know, what is the interest rate? Try and understand all those things before you go ahead and invest. Then finally, the last money mistake we should avoid in our 20s is unnecessary lifestyle upgrades. Let's say you get a new job and the first thing you do is to go and rent a luxury apartment. So you move out of your parents' house and go and rent an apartment that you don't need. Now, I do understand that there are times where you need to move out of your parents' homes and rent an apartment maybe closer to work so that you can avoid the morning and evening rush hour. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about the need to want to satisfy your lifestyle craving. You just want to know what it's like to live in a luxury apartment. That is an unnecessary lifestyle upgrade. Now, looking wealthy is not going to make you wealthy. So why don't you put that extra money into a safe investment that is going to make your money work for you? So avoid any kind of unnecessary lifestyle upgrade in your 20s. Alright guys, so those are just a few money mistakes that we can all avoid in our 20s, in our 30s, 40s, in life in general. If you made any of these mistakes, this video is not to judge anyone, but just own the mistakes that we've made and learn from them and move on. Alright, so I didn't want this video to be too long, so if you want a part 2 of this video with some more practical tips, let's gather in the comment section below. Let me know which of these mistakes you've made in the comments, and if I didn't list yours, mention your personal money mistake that you have made and how you got over it. Listen, we're here to learn from each other. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you enjoy any of these other videos that I'm going to list here and in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.